Excuse me, I'm being rude. What was that? Pardon me for being rude. That was not me, it was my food. It, it came from down below and just popped up to say hello. I feel like I'm channeling Mike Myers somehow. Well, good morning, everybody. Or morning, check me out. I'm so used to being on in the morning. Hey, C. Fitzhenry, nice to see you. And Lori Hanna and Dana Reynolds and Katie and all sorts of folks. Well, look at what happens when I show up not at the, as some people would say, the butt crack of dawn, 1 p.m. Eastern, which is maybe a different time where you are. And I'm realizing it's lunchtime, so I'm going to try to eat discreetly here. But hey, I apologize if I'm crunching. Yeah, I'll enjoy that later. So hello, good afternoon. If we haven't met before, my name is Beth, Destination Decluttered, Decluttering Life Coach. And here on doing a TikTok Live at 1 p.m. Eastern, where I am. I'll be here for the next hour or so. And what you may, I wish I had teeth to crunch, yep. Lori Hanna, I'm glad, I appreciate letting you know that, or you letting me know that the West Coast friendly time was working for you. Yes, I realized in hindsight that I had just tried to fit in, because I do a lot of coaching in the afternoons here, so it doesn't give me that availability. So there's a couple of them, both this week and next week, that are West Coast friendly, but then also upon my return from my travels, I will make more of an effort to show up at different times of the day. The cool thing is about this this TikTok Live right now, as you can notice, maybe I always have squares behind me. I've got a square motif going on in my house. But during my last coaching session, I turned around to say something. I was pointing outside, and oh my goodness, the sun was out. Now, okay, technically we saw the sun on Saturday, but the rest of Saturday and all of Sunday and most of this morning was kind of crappy. Daisy Dog saying, that's so funny, you like squares and I like circles. Yeah, sometimes you don't know what little motifs you have, what little, things you enjoy until you see it often. Yeah, so I have like this square, we have the square lattice, so I'm on our patio right now because it's just so nice outside. And here's a fun thing. I'm always thinking, well, I'm going to do this thing. I said I was going to do it. How can I make it more fun? And I said to my husband as I was heating up some little nibbles for lunch, I was just like, yeah, it is beautiful outside. And so I said, well, nobody says I have to be at my desk to do a TikTok Live. And I just want to suggest to you that it's very cool. It's very nice outside. And so whatever you can do to make things more fun, do it. Do it. So I am a decluttering life coach. I work one-on-one with clients. I love it. Katie is saying she's outside filling bird feeders. Very nice. A friend of mine, actually a client I was just on with, said she saw a red-headed woodpecker on her bird feeders. But doing things that make you feel better. It's one of the reasons I got into coaching, and especially declutter coaching, because gosh knows, I know it feels better when my house is decluttered, when I don't have stuff kind of all around the place. So how could I help you with your clutter? I can share stories of my past if it makes you feel better, because you're not alone in this. I would say I grew up in a cluttered household. I grew up kind of like in a fixed mindset type of thing, as we would say in the biz, where it's like, oh, guess that's just the way it is. And I have learned better late than never. I love this. I'll share a couple of highlights, I will say, that kind of the global kind of things that came up in my last coaching session. And they were kind of examples from my own life that I want to share this with you. And I would love to share this with you. This is such a cool little thing to think of. First of all, one of my favorite mantras is every little bit helps. And I think if this was like a 45 RPM record where there was one thing on one side and one on the other, that I would say every little bit helps is on one side, and the flip side would be it can't hurt. Can't hurt might help would be the song. Maybe I'll have my husband write a song called Can't Hurt Might Help. Because this is what I say. Ask for what you want. Ask for what you want. Whatever it is, ask for it. If you don't, you're telling no to yourself. If you want it, there's something there that makes you want it. And it can't hurt to ask. Whoever's making the decisions may just say yes. It may not have occurred to whoever you have to ask for something you want, the universe included. I wanted sunshine and blue skies. I got sunshine and blue skies. Now, I don't know if it works 100% that way, but just think about it. You want something, and somebody else may, you may need some help getting it, but if you never ask for the help, you're not going to get it, because nobody knows you need help. As soon as you need the help, as soon as you need the thing, people are like, oh, I didn't know you wanted that. Okay, yeah, sure, I can help you. Or, well, I can't do that, but maybe somebody else can. Happened this morning. I know I'm being a bit rude for eating, but I'll be over soon, and frankly, just so good. La, la, la. Planting a seed. I'm outside. Maybe I'm planting a seed with you right now. Maybe I just gave you the seed to put in your brain if you're so interested, to say, can't hurt to ask for what you want. Maybe you're used to not getting what you want. That was me for decades. I stopped trying. It was like every time I heard the answer no. So then I stopped asking because I had internalized the no. So, do you want a decluttered home? Cool, I can help you with that. If you want, how else? What else that you want right now that would help you get through your day? Now, here's the fun thing. Oh, there we go. I love the sunshine, but now at least I can see the comments a little bit better. Folks on the West Coast, it's a few hours earlier. I've already used up my hours between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. I did make good use of that time. What can I do for you, with you, to help you, to encourage you, to get your stuff going? What's going to make your next 3 hours until you get to 1 p.m., what do you need that I can help you with? I'm here. If you can't answer it, no worries. If you're saying, I don't know where to start, that's usually what people say. Excuse me, I think I'm going to sneeze. I'm being totally real at this today because I'm eating and sneezing. Excuse me. Sometimes you don't know what you want, and that's okay. I love it. Cat Mama actually is saying, and I know if I'm not mistaken, my geographic brain says that you're in Connecticut. Cat Mama says, got 5 errands done early so I could be back for the live. Hey, very cool. Try to wrap up Mom's financial matters, not done yet. There you go. Thank you, Dana, for the bless you, and C. Fitzhenry. I appreciate that. Love that you are outside enjoying the sun. Yes, because I feel better when the sun is out. Call me crazy. Call me Ishmael. But when the weather is better, I feel better. And when I feel better, I do better. So I notice these things. So as I said, I looked outside and I said, oh my goodness, the sky is blue. It may not be blue for a time, but I want to make the most of it. Barefoot Eclecta says, I just need you to be here all the time when I need a body double. That's where the tubes are good to go. Yeah, the YouTubes. So for those of you who haven't tuned in before, these TikTok lives that I do, I always record them and I upload them to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. Now, the different thing that I started doing this month of May is that the people on the Destination Decluttered mailing list is the people on the mailing list are the ones that get first dibs on pretty much everything. So the TikTok lives for May are only available to watch for the people on the mailing list. And if you want to get on the mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com/join. Okay. User 796979 says, what do you mean when you said call me Ishmael? I'm quoting Moby Dick. I am a Gen X born and bred woman who watched way too much TV and listened to way too much music, or maybe just the right amount of both. I'm not going to shame myself growing up. So my brain has zingy non sequiturs like nobody's business. So you're going to hear a lot of that from me. Hope that helps. But Barefoot Eclectic, I want to help you with this because this is part of coaching. I love, first of all, I think it's really cool when you learn about yourself that body doubling. Those of you who don't know, so ADHD folks we're kind of wired slightly differently, can find it helpful. To find it makes them feels better, helps you focus, to realize you're not alone. If somebody's there kind of doing it with you. Now, what I want to do is I always just want to make sure, because I'm very mindful about this, is that also when you are, even if we're in kind of a very very loose, pretendy coaching thing right here, that you develop the toolkit that helps you do things. I may not always be there all the time, but knowing the things that work for you and how can you do things, maybe even when you're not body doubling. Maybe your own brain. You can hang out with your own self. Maybe you call a friend and say, hey, can you keep me on the straight and narrow? I'm going to declutter for an hour. Can you just call me in an hour and I'll do it? Okay. So I love it. Excuse me. When you find something that works for you, this is what I call creating a toolkit. And even when I do this, I'm always thinking of like a toolkit like in the back of the car. You know what makes it easier for me is to put on music. You know what makes it easier for me is to have a body double. You know what makes it easier for me? I'm all about the ease. I am all about making easier. You know what would make it easier and I'm going to feel better when I show up at my TikTok Live? Not that I'm being chained to my desk, because that's why I got out of corporate America. Not that I chain myself to my desk, but that I have the flexibility to go outside, so I do this. Now, Kristen is saying, I'm grateful to be moving into my new home. Yay! However, I feel so overwhelmed packing and letting go. Kristen, I want to help you with this, and maybe a few of these ideas from my coaching will. First of all, and this I think will help with a lot of folks, overwhelm is a feeling. Overwhelm to me is a feeling that comes on in your body when you're looking at too much, all of it. I bet you're looking at your entire old house and saying, oh my gosh, I have to pack up all of this. I have to make decisions on all of this. Then all of this has to be moved and set up in a new home. Whoosh, that feels like a lot. I want to suggest to you one of the best things you can do, very first thing, is always just check in with your nervous system. If you're feeling overwhelmed, take a few deep breaths, slow down, calm down, quiet down. And then chunk it down. Chunk it down. Don't look at everything. Just look at one little section. Look at one room. Look at one section of a room. Look at one little section. And then when you're packing and letting go in that one little section, this is the thing I like to have fun with, is imagine, because you're decorating your dream home. You're setting up your own Barbie dream house. So when you have the picture in your head of where you're going, bring the stuff you love. Pack that stuff up, and also notice the stuff that you don't want. I know this has helped other people that have moved to say, if I went to Target, or insert the name of the store you like to travel to shop at now, if I were at the store today, would I buy this? Would I want to buy this and have it in my new home? That might be a question you can ask yourself. Feeling better, chunking it down, asking yourself the question, do I want this or not in my new home? Can I picture where would it go? Can I imagine this? And if the answer is a clear yes, you pack it away. If the answer is a clear no, you recycle it, you know, put it in a donation box, and maybe you donate it before you even go to your new home. The stuff that you're not sure of, pack that away too. Put it in a I'm not sure of this box, so that you know when you bring it into your new house that you don't open that one yet. You open up the stuff you love. So notice that you can have fun with this. You can decorate your own Barbie dream home. And the other thing I will share with you as far as moving goes, and this will apply to all of us, is when you're moving into a new place from an old place, you're just making a best guess effort. You're just making an effort. You're just making a guess of what you think you're going to use. You don't know 100% until you get into your new home and you unpack. But I want to also suggest, don't unpack organically. And not necessarily room by room, but by the stuff you use the most. What are the things you need? You probably need your toothbrush more than you need, a pumpkin carver or a turkey platter, for like stuff that happens in the fall. Unpack the stuff you use frequently, and then do it a bit at a time so you can start to live in your house. What you may find out is that you need far fewer things than you packed away. But that's a good thing to learn. As opposed to just setting up the same house, if you want to be decluttered, just unpack organically just the things you need. And then when you need other things, you unpack those. And then you're going to notice the stuff that doesn't make it out of the boxes. And yet you're living your life. Okay? I hope that helps. All right, barefoot. Say, I will sit in my kitchen and my husband comes up for a break and I want to clean. Interesting. Untreated ADHD. Well, it might help you. I will say this with all sincerity, barefoot eclectic. If you think you have the ADHD, it might help you to get it treated. I know people who are untreated and unmedicated and undiagnosed, and I know people who are treated and diagnosed and medicated, and there's all sorts of things in between. Find out what works for you. Now, this is fun. Tickle Bears is saying, I usually FaceTime with my friends when we clean up on the weekends. Yeah, that can be fun. I love it. Interesting. Sarah Larkin says, I joined the Flow Club for body doubling. So helpful for me. I'm not aware of that, but thank you for sharing that. Carla Holiday, nice to see you as well. Okay, and Karen is asking, am I from Massachusetts? Do you not hear it in my voice? Yeah, I'm from Mass, but I don't live here anymore. Okay, so Carla, you're not being horrid, but Carla is saying, I think to myself, if a fire or tornado took it away, I would live. Yeah, sometimes knowing that you don't want any of it, but having to go through it can be overwhelming. But the cool thing is that, yeah, and who knows, because, I don't know, maybe you wouldn't want to set it on fire, but yes, if the magic bullet, if the Deus Ex Machina, if something happened and everything was gone, that would be convenient. Sadly, sometimes we have to do it the old-fashioned way, which is bit by bit. But there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so Kristen saying, that's about as far as I get. One closet and one box at a time. Baby steps. Put one foot in front of the other. Do-do-do. Just baby steps in it. Baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. Every day you can only walk as far as it's so funny, people are walking by my house right now. You can only walk as wide as your stride goes. You can walk faster, but you've got a certain pace that you go through life. You've got a certain pace that feels good. Sometimes you have a pace that you feel like I'm moving too slow. Other times you may have a pace that you feel like, oh, I'm kind of speeding along. But make it easy on yourself, okay? Make it easier on yourself. And thank you, Sarah, for saying, I love how you break these ideas down. Thank you for letting me know that, because that really helped me when I was trying to find help with the stuff I was struggling with, was hearing jargon and fancy words and people trying to be too full of themselves. I like kind of taking the emperor's new clothes and saying everything underneath is so simple, Oh, I love it. So Carla, who's a client of mine, just said, knowing that I will Zoom with Beth on Wednesday makes me accountable and to get to it. Now, you know what that is? First of all, it's one-on-one coaching, one of the many services I provide. And one of the things about having a paid one-on-one coach is you're going to show up and, get what you paid for. But what that really is, too, is accountability. Now, I've been reading this book, and it talks about kind of internal and external motivations and the balance between the two. And sometimes many of us struggle with internal motivation. Like if we say we'll do something to somebody else, we will do it. But when we say it to ourselves, not so much. So if accountability to somebody else, to a deadline, if you've shared with somebody that you're going to do something by a certain time, if that helps you get stuff done, that is a tool in your toolkit. How can you get accountability? Now, I will share with you, I am not hyper aware. I am aware of the fact that on a TikTok Live last week, I used the tool of external accountability because I said, probably not on the Monday one, but by the Tuesday TikTok Live that I'm doing sometime on TikTok tomorrow. I don't have my calendar stuff in front of me because I'm outside. I will have gotten in touch with the bookkeeper that helps me with my QuickBooks. Now, that's me knowing that external accountability will make me do the thing that I've been just dragging my feet on. So if that is something that works for you, consider yourself, you have a toolkit, a little toolbox maybe, a little toolbox, you open it up. External accountability works for me. Where can I get that? Okay? So you can get it through coaching with me. Maybe you ask a friend, as somebody said, they FaceTime with people. But discover what works for you. What are the things when you're getting stuff done works for you? And not just works for you to get the result you want, but this is where the life coaching for me comes in with the decluttering, is getting the result you want and moving forward in a way towards that result that feels more like a road trip and less like a commute. Okay? Okay, so I love it. So Barefoot Eclectic knows, you know where you're at as far as past issues with things. That's good to know yourself. When you know yourself, you can move forward in a better direction. Sarah was just saying, I was thinking you could have a corner in your newsletter called Beth's Breakdowns. And now it's time for a breakdown. Never gonna get it, 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 never get it. No, not that one. I was joking with a client yesterday. I was saying how I went to the Fozzie Bear School of Comedy. It could be, but you know what? It's all so simple stuff. It really is. And I will say this: I may change up my newsletters a little bit because I've started a coaching, like not coaching, like a workshop. I joined a workshop to get better at my writing because I show up a lot and I can talk. But my writing, I don't write as much as I used to. So I might break some things down in those things. So that's a good thing to know. Now, okay, I love it. So Carla is saying, you let me choose the goal. I love that because this is so great. Carla is saying, my friends know I am working with Beth and want to know what I have accomplished that week. So you've got your own cheering squad. You've got your friends who are cheering you on. You have your own accountability partners. You know, and before the end of the Zoom, you literally said it's okay if you don't do what you planned. Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. Because it's just a plan. Now, the cool thing is when you plan your stuff and you can make it happen, yes, that feels so good. But when you plan something and it doesn't work out, you can get bummed about it, but just get curious why it didn't happen. And I say this, cheer yourself on, like, be quick to cheer yourself on and quick to forgive yourself when things don't go the way you want. It can really help make you feel better. If you beat yourself up, if you shame yourself, if you feel guilty, that just puts you in a crappy sort of feeling. And who wants to feel crappy? I don't want to feel crappy. I want to feel good because when I feel good, I do good. When I feel good, I do good. I show up and do a TikTok live. I've been doing a TikTok live every day for like the last couple weeks. And the next couple of weeks I'm going to as well. If you're on the mailing list, you know that. Then I'm going to feel good by going on vacation and pretty much trying to get away from social media for a bit so that I'm excited when I come back. But the thing I want to highlight too is, much like Carla is saying, Carla is one of my one-on-one clients. I do paid one-on-one coaching, and Carla is one of my clients, is even if you're not, this is your drive. This is not me. I show up in your life. I have shown up in your life as the co-pilot on your road trip called life. Ooh, pretty deep. But think about it. I'm looking at my car right now in the driveway, and when I go in it, I'm in the driver's seat, except if my husband's driving. But I'm in the driver's seat of my own life. You are too. You're always in the driver's seat of your own life. You can decide where you're driving, if you're driving, the speed you're going. If you swerve and you take a detour, or if you don't move at all, if you run out of gas, if there's something wrong that keeps your engine from stalling out. Think of it like a road trip, and I'm here for you. I am not here for me. If it was my road trip, I would have a certain plan. It's not my road trip. You know, is it? Not my circus, not my monkeys. This is you. I want you to learn how to drive towards what you want, and I'm just there as support, encouragement. I get the map, I get the tunes, I get the snacks. You see, I got the snacks. I get the map, I get the tunes, I get the snack, I get the toolkit. And the toolkit I have is not just mine and I keep it. I share it with you. We kind of copy and paste it. Every time we pull out a tool, like external accountability, like calming things down, chunking things down, getting things onto your calendar, these are all tools you can use. And the more you use them, the easier it gets to use them. The more you practice with them, the easier it gets. And then now you know how to do it yourself. See? Very cool stuff. Um, yeah, you know what? And sadly, this stuff drove my mom's car and mine for a long time. Here's the deal. We are all struggling with stuff. Mm-hmm. Yep, and I love it. Carla is saying, and it's so true, and I won't give away too much about what Carla's going through, but breaking the cycle of clutter. Let's be those people who change those things. I see people, both in my personal and professional lives, who thought that more stuff would make them happier. That maybe they came from a feeling of lack or a legitimate feeling of being poor. And so when they had the money and they had the ability to buy the stuff or eat the stuff or drink the stuff, they went above and beyond. they, just right, and they went a little bit too much. Clutter is the too much. Clutter is not the stuff you love. Clutter is the imbalance. It's the too much as opposed to the just right feeling. The scales are tipped. You either don't have enough or you have too much. I want you to think about getting to your feeling, and I want you to do this for you, but also, as an added bonus, this will help other people. Carla's got kids. She doesn't want them to go through what she's going through. She doesn't want to go through what her mother went through. So there's a generational change we can make happen. I know for gosh darn truth, because you hear me talk about it, growing up in a cluttered home with people who saved stuff, so people who collected things, for people who bought too much stuff, I don't do that. And I actively encourage my nieces and nephew to look at things in life as far as experiences versus stuff. I love it. Sharon says, we are all on the struggle bus. Yeah, but we can get off anytime. You can be like, you know what? Hey, you can pull the little thing. What was it like when you were on you hit the button? Stop right here. I want to get off. Stop the world and let me off. I want to get off the struggle bus, and I want to get into a car, because the bus only goes one place, and it has a bunch of people in it. I want you to think about being in your car, saying, I've had enough of being on the bus. I'm getting off. I'm getting in the driver's side, and I am driving on the road trip towards something fun. Okay? German Maid is asking where I am today. I know I travel, so sometimes I'm on my patio. I'm on the patio. It was wicked nice outside. It still is. I can see some blue in the sky and some green of the trees, and I'm squinting a little bit because the sun is out, and I'm not used to it, and I'm like a mole person. I just had to get outside because it's so nice out. And being in the weather, and nice weather, helps me feel better, and when I feel better, I do better. Okay. Sarah Larkin, hope this helped. I'm always here for you. All right? So, yeah, Carla says, for my birthday, my friend took me out to eat. They are enjoying my Beth journey and knew I didn't want things but experiences. I love it. And see, here's the cool thing is I showed up here. Carla is benefiting already from the coaching with me, but I always like to say there's this positive ripple effect. It's like concentric circles. There's me and Carla, and then her, or Carla and I, or Carla and me, sorry, Dad, whatever the correct thing is. And now her friends are actually kind of along for this ride. They're watching from the sidelines Carla change her life. And if that can be inspirational. Have you ever been inspired by somebody who did something that you wanted to do, but they did it? You can do it too. You can do it. Okay? Okay, C. Fitzhenry. I buy too much stuff, gotta kick the habit. Kick the habit. Kick the habit. I want to say this. I bet it's like you know how they talk about like quitting smoking or going cold turkey? I would also say just notice when you tend to buy more stuff. Notice what is the thing that's happening right before you decide to buy more things. Is it you want some novelty? You want a little dopamine? You're feeling a little bit low? Is it here's something to solve a problem? Maybe it's a soap you like and you really like it a lot and it was on sale, so you buy a bunch of them. There are different reasons why we buy things and sometimes buy kind of, quote, too much. The more you uncover, kind of like popping the hood in the car, what makes you tick, the more you'll catch yourself when you're saying, oh, this is when I tend to eat too much. This is when I tend to drink too much. This is when I tend to shop too much. Now, the shopping for me is pretty good. I will say eating and drinking. I like to be a social person, and sometimes I'm having so much fun I get carried away. All right, Pat is saying, I buy stuff when I'm depressed. Yeah, because we've been told that buying things will solve our problems, that will make you not depressed. But even if they don't, that temporary dopamine hit, that promise of this is going to do something, that temporarily makes you feel better. And maybe, hopefully, whatever you're buying is helping you not be depressed. But sometimes what happens is almost like a rebound. Is you buy it and you think it's going to work and then it doesn't, and it makes you feel even worse because then you kind of wasted money on it. So just notice this, okay? So just think about these things. Yeah, that rush. Ooh, this is fun. You know, oh, look at this thing I found. I mean, I have always said about myself, and I learned this at an early age, probably at 18, 19, or 20. In hindsight, what I noticed, one thing that really I enjoy doing is discovering things and then sharing them. Finding a connection with somebody who thinks what you bought was pretty cool. You discovered an idea and you want to share it with somebody. I sent an email today to friends of mine who thought would be interested in this cabin on Cape Cod that I found. Not that I found, it was on the map. But that connection you feel, of finding something and feeling good about it and then wanting to share that feeling. So, and Inessa is saying the older I have become, I realize that having too much stuff doesn't make me happy. We think it will be. We think it will, and so we try, and then we find out it doesn't. So we can keep on repeating the same thing and kind of get deeper and deeper. I like to think like kind of digging spinning your wheels, doing the same thing over and over again. You're spinning your wheels in the mud on the side of the road and you're just digging yourself deeper. What if you stopped? What if you did something different? That might be enough to get you out of the mud and back on the road towards what you like. Other times you can't do it. You've tried to do it yourself and maybe you need coaching. But just notice, we all think that much wants more is kind of the thing my mother would say, but it's more like if this much is good, a lot more might be better. Chocolate, gin and tonics, chicken wings, another pair of sneakers, another whatever. All of us, my dears, this happens to all of us. Humans, it happens to all of us. If it works and it makes you feel good, rock on. But if it's not giving you the charge you want, let's do something about it. Yeah, I have realized too, even this year, I realized that indulging myself in snacks and things like that used to feel fun. Used to feel like, aha, I never had snacks when I was a kid. That was my big thing. My mother was always on a diet. I never had snacks. So I overindulge and I can eat anything I want. And it doesn't matter what my body looks like. And maybe it doesn't. But you know what I realized? It was kind of making me feel crappy inside. Too much of something was just making me feel crappy, heavy, weighed down, overwhelmed. So I start slowly by changing things about it. Am I perfect? No, nobody's perfect. I'm not going for perfection. I'm going for better. And I want you to think about that with your home. Here, embroider that on a pillow. I'm not going for perfection. I'm going for better. So what could make you feel better about your clutter, even like by the end of today? Something little, something small, something peppy, something snappy, something easy? Yeah, Carla, I love it. Carla's saying, I love this community, knowing we are not alone, with no judgment. Oh, this is such a judgment-free zone until you're being mean, and I will smack you down. But we don't have meanies here. But I will smack down the meanies, like without even batting an eyelash. No matter how we got here, right? Think about that idea. You're looking at a map. We're all at like the, what am I thinking of? Like we all ended up on the place on the side of the Jersey Turnpike where you start, like a rest area. We're all coming from different areas. We all converged in this one point right here. Maybe it's not. We're converging on some place fun. You came from this way. I came from that way. You're this old. This is where you live. This is how you grew up. This is your gender. This is all this. No matter where we came from, here we are. We're not alone. We all have strengths. We all have weaknesses. But we're all kind of like, I kind of want to change something about my clutter. Kind of something about my life. Cool. People, we can do that. Doesn't matter where you came from. It's you're here now, and where do you want to go? Now, I love this one. Pat is saying, why is it easier? I can clean up other people's clutter, but not my own. I will tell you. I will tell you, because, and see if this does not resonate with all y'all. We cannot hear the stories that other people's clutter tells them. Your stuff talks to you. My stuff talks to me. We look at something, and it's not just a, dinner plate. It's a dinner plate that I registered for when I got married for the second time. It's not a pink Fiesta-ware dinner plate because those were from my first marriage. These are the dark blue ones that I registered for in 2002. Those are the ones we got 12 of them because I wanted to have people over. You just look at it and think it's a dinner plate. Your stuff talks to you. That's why it takes slightly longer for you to process it because you're listening to the stories it tells you. It's easier for me to go through anybody else's stuff because I cannot hear the stories. I cannot. The cluttered convention, I love it. I cannot, yeah. If you can't hear the stories, it can be very freeing. Carla is working with clutter that wasn't her own, it was her mother's, and so it's a lot easier for her to go through it. When I go through my parents' clutter, which I have been doing, my mother knows the story of all her stuff. I only know the stories she's told me, but what I can do is I can sort it and categorize it so that she can then only have a little narrow window of what to look for. But think about it. Does that resonate? Does your stuff talk to you? Do you look at something and you hear a story back in your head? You hear words in your head when you look at something? And the words aren't, that is a coffee cup. That is a coffee cup with a chip in it. No, that's the coffee cup. That's the coffee cup my husband uses, and he tends to, stir his coffee with a spoon, and there's a little silver ring around it. And it's the Hatch show prints, and we got that the very first time we went to Nashville. And he really likes that cup, and I don't really use it, but he does. Yeah, see? Yeah, everything I see here. So many voices. And I will say this, Bobby, I will say this, 2 voices. Only 2 voices. You've got your backseat drivers, and you've got your co-pilot voice. You'll hear the story, but the ones telling you how to feel about it are going to be coming either from the person in the passenger seat just wanting you to live the best, most awesome life with the years you have. That's your co-pilot. That's kind of like me. I show up as your co-pilot. But you've also got your backseat drivers. Now, I always imagine the backseat drivers as little kids, like 3 little kids in car seats. Because if you've ever been in a car with little kids, maybe even just one little kid in the back in a car seat who does not want to go where you want to go, they are going to pitch a fit until you go where they want to go. You can't get rid of that. No, you're going to get in trouble. That was so-and-so's. You paid a lot for that. I can't believe you're going to, what if you lose weight and you'll fit in it someday? Don't do that. That costs a lot of money. What if you need it someday? Oh, you know what? You lost weight, but maybe you're going to gain it, so maybe just keep your fat clothes. Your co-pilot, on the other hand, just sits there and frickin' loves you. It hears the little kids in the back seat, but you're like, yeah, whatever, kids. You're just scared. You're fear. You've got another point in you that just loves you so much that's like, okay, when you quiet down those little kids, and I show you how to do it, when you just quiet them down, then your co-pilot is like, you know what? Those kids are just scared of the unknown, of the different stuff. I know you want to do certain things with your life. I know you want your house to look certain. So where do you want to go? What do you want to do? We won't go anywhere until you tell me, but as soon as you get an idea of what you want, I can help you get there. Now that's me as your coach, but you have that voice inside of you. You probably haven't heard that voice a lot because these guys talk like little kids 24/7. They don't shut up. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, as I like to say. Okay? And it happens to all of us. So 2 voices. Who is influencing where you drive your car, your life? Which voice is talking in your ear, and which one are you responding to? The one that says, keep on going towards the life you love, and I know we're not there yet, but you're going to get there? Or stop it, it's taking too long, you're doomed. What if this is wrong? Are you slowing down? Are you taking your foot off the gas? Are you maybe taking a detour because you're not sure you still want to get there? We all do it. You do it in the car. Examine how that happens in your life. Okay, so Not Today says, my brother passed away 13 years ago and I still keep his bottle caps and notes. Cool. I love that. I love that you have some little things that remind you of your brother. You decided to keep them. That's cool. If they light up your life, like Debbie Boone, keep them. But if you're like, I don't know if I need to keep this anymore, please know you're never going to forget your brother. I have very few items of my dad's. When I was up in the attic a few weeks ago at the house that I grew up in, going through his stuff, I was reminded of him over and over again, but I knew these things about him already. I feel his presence in my life often, and sometimes in the randomest places. That has nothing to do with owning an item he once touched. I don't, yeah, no. I'll share this with you. I will be scraping the pan when my husband fries some chicken, and there's like I think there's a fancy name for it when you're a cook. We just used to call it the scrapins. Oh my God, sometimes I love the scrapins better than I do the food. And when I do that and it tastes so good, I think of my dad because he would do the same thing. Even earlier today when I had little salt sprinkles on my thing and I just ate that, we grew up in a salty family. I'm a salty New Englander. I can remember my dad lives in my heart. He doesn't live in the stuff that he temporarily owned while he was on the planet. So you're not alone with those things. Now, Joy Ginger is saying, in my mind, I hear you say, it's going to look worse before it looks better as I declutter. Okay, Joy Ginger, I love that because I am a temporary holding place in your life that shows up to encourage your own voice to say those things to you. So temporarily, it is cool that you hear my voice. And I come up with these catchy phrases because I want to share them with you so you remember them, and then you start to hear them in your voice. Now, it's cool with me temporarily, but I don't want you to be reliant on me. I am only here temporarily because you're going to be driving on your life for the rest of the road. And, I mean, it would help me financially if people, wanted to coach with me for the rest of their lives. That's not how I want to make my money. I want you to learn these skills because when you have those skills in you, nobody can ever take them away from you. Now, this is interesting. Carla is saying, my son said that to me this week. I told him it hurt my feelings. Yep, and I did it. Yep. Hugs. Yeah. It is going to look worse before it's going to look better. So when it's starting to look worse, you know what that means? It means you're on your way. It means you're on your way. Okay? I'm doing this so you don't have to. Yeah, you know what? People don't get it. When you know you're doing something and your heart and your soul is in alignment with what you're doing and you know you're doing it for a good reason, there's a power to that. Okay. There we go. Pat did this. I think it's a great idea. So Pat says, when my mom died, I took pictures of stuff and sent them to family and asked if they wanted any. When nobody responded, finally, after 5 years or 10 years, I donated. I love that idea. The only thing I would change for anybody else is don't wait 5 or 10 years. If you took a picture of it to ask if anybody wants it, you pretty much already knew you didn't want it yourself. And you gave them an opportunity. Now, let me tell you this. The rapidity with which somebody gets back to you about something indicates they're interested in it. If nobody gets back to you, that silence is telling. They're kind of like, well, I don't really want it, but give a timeline. Say to people, I'm going to send out these things. You let me know within this week, and other than that, it's going to go. And I mean that within love. I mean that as love for yourself. Do you want to wait 5 or 10 years to empty out the stuff? I say no. I want you to have a life of your own and not always be dealing with somebody's stuff. It's so funny. I just realized that my phone was out in the sunlight. I don't want to overheat. So I know my face just got bigger, but I'm just trying to make sure I can read these things. Okay. Mother of 3 pearls, hello. There we go. Yep, chicken neck meat, good stuff. Mother of 3 pearls has gotten rid of 8 bins. It looked worse, then it got better. Yeah, so when it starts to look and feel worse, know that that's just temporary. Pretty much all of this is temporary. But know that you're on your way. Do not give up and go backwards. Continue and move forward, and you'll be like, oh, that's right. That's just part of the journey. I think of my Route 66 road trip, where we were driving. There was a couple of days there where all we did was drive through the desert, and I was just like, oh, my God. Will we ever get through this? This is not fun. This is not the fun I was expecting. But we kept on going, and then the next thing you know, you start seeing like the trees, because you go over like the California border, and then you're getting close, and then you see the ocean. Oh my gosh, to see that ocean and to think about the Jodes and the people in the Dust Bowl not giving up and keeping on going. I just love it. All right. Oh, I love it. Social Worker Goals says, so good to see you live. I just put a posted on my wall with a quote from you earlier today. I love that. If you wouldn't mind sharing, I'd be curious what the quote is, because I like to think I pretty much talk in quotes sometimes. All right. But anyhow, Yes, and here I am, and actually I just realized how quickly the time is moving. It's 1:45 p.m. where I am. Maybe you're a West Coast person. If you are, I do apologize for always being the East Coast early bird that I am, but just know that I am here for you as well. This week and next week I have one or two TikTok lives that are happening slightly kind of later my time, earlier your time. The best thing you can do, honestly, to encourage me to do these is just show up to them. When I see people show up, I will continue to show up. If nobody shows up, then I go back to what I was doing. But I will let you know this. So this week and next week, I've got some that are going to be more kind of schedule friendly for the West Coast and in between. But also then I go away for almost 2 weeks after between Memorial Day weekend and like the beginning of June. Got a lot of stuff going on. Very excited about all of it. When I return and I do the TikTok live schedule, I will definitely incorporate more of these for the West Coast folks, and so many of you are showing up. Okay? Yep. I love it. My hallway is starting to look like a hallway. I love it. Oh, I love it. So this I want to share with you. So social worker goals was, the quote was, how do you want your home and office, home/office, to look and feel 1 year from now? I'll repeat the question so everybody can write it down because I want you to answer it for yourself. How do you want your home, your office, your life to look and feel like 1 year from now? That's your destination. You can drive towards it. Okay. Bobby Dugas says, glad you're here with consistency. Yeah, I'm a consistent person until I'm not, but then I give you plenty of advance notice that I'm not. And yes, Kia, I love it. So Kia is saying, I will be listening to your YouTube while I'm traveling. Yes, it's one of the reasons I create those YouTube recordings of these, so you're not stuck high and dry. If you want to fix, if you want something to listen to, like a podcast, and you can pop one on. There's like almost, if not over 200 of them right now. So there are plenty to choose from, and each one of them has a slightly different thing you can pick up in it. Now, Anastasia is asking if I'm going to Palm Springs. Always in my heart, I'm in Palm Springs. No, it's so funny. I'm like, where am I going? Here I am. I'm going to Hawaii. So excited. This trip had started to be planned pre-COVID, and we're finally making it happen. And it feels good, and it feels right. Moonlight feels right. Going to Hawaii. Then we come back, and literally with enough time to like sleep and do some laundry. Then we leave the next day to go up to New England. I have a nephew who's graduating from high school, hanging out with some friends from high school, graduation. Next day we go on a little food tour with some other friends. Then we head out to Cape Cod and talk about what you want your life to look and feel like. I have been wanting to stay at this one set of cabins, little cottages on Cape Cod, literally since I was 12 years old. And I'm making it happen in just a couple of weeks. I wanted to make it happen, and I did. It is stupid money that I'm paying for just a long weekend, but it's worth it to me because I want to have memories, not regrets. Instead of driving past those little days cottages, if anybody knows Cape Cod, they're right there on the Cape Cod Bay in Truro, I think it is, Wellfleet, Truro, right before P-Town. I've driven past those for decades, and I said, someday I want to stay in one of those, someday, and every year, someday. I'm staying there in just a couple of weeks because I was tired of saying to myself, someday I'm going to do this, and it was like, okay, make that now. There we go. Yeah. Make the things you want to make happen in your life happen. The way I coach, all the things you're learning from me secretly, all the things you're learning from what I've said in this TikTok live for an hour, if you listen to the recording and if you're on the Destination Decluttered mailing list, you know how to get the recording for the May ones. If you're not on the mailing list, you'll have to wait till June to listen to the recording of this one. But if you're on the mailing list, you know how to get in touch. You know how to do this one. All of this doesn't just apply to clutter. It applies to your life too. Saying, what do I want to happen? Here I am. How do I get there? Baby steps. Baby steps. You know? Anastasia, yeah, it's funny. Yeah, no, I get it. Anastasia, my mind and my brain moves faster than my lips as well. So saying, I used to go to Cape Cod, but I don't remember where we stayed. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, we only get one life. Let's enjoy it and stop going through stuff. Yes. And here's the thing. Stuff has its place in our lives. Clothing needs to cover your naked body so you stay warm and you're comfortable. I'm eating off of a plate. I'm sitting on a chair. I have a table here. There's a certain amount of stuff that makes your life comfortable and easy. There's ain't nothing wrong with that. What happens? Clutter is the stuff that's too much. How many of whatever do you need? Do you need 7 vacuum cleaners? Maybe, maybe not. I bet you maybe only need one. At the end of the day, you only have, isn't that what they say about rich people? You know, they just put on their pants just like us, one leg at a time. You can only wear one pair of pants at a time. How many pairs of pants do you really need? Now, need and want and can have and don't have, this is where your nervous system, your stories, how things make you feel. I'm going to buy as much as I want because I can. I earned this. I'm going to treat myself to this fancy dress. I'm going to treat myself to this ice cream sundae. Hey, that's me, you know. Okay, papers. Joy Ginger, I can help you with papers. Totally. Paper, I am so good at that. So what I want to say, papers, categorize it. Look at it. It takes up a little bit of space on the thing, on the table, but it probably uses a lot of energy in you. Okay, now you figure your colony cats are holding me from travel and you can't part with them. True, but I bet you could have a cat, if you had, trust me, I told a story, I referred to a story, I don't want to get into the details because I totally don't want to be like I'm showing off. However, I will say to you, when there's something you want to happen, you can do things to make it happen. You know, if somebody said, hey, Anastasia, you know, here's a free ticket to Hawaii, just get somebody to take care of your cats, I would like to think you would be like, I'm going to find some people to take care of my cats. Treat other things in your life like that. Find a way. Notice even that word, find a way. Now I've got Love Will Find a Way going through my head. It's a 70s song, people. I apologize. I will not sing it. Now it's in my head. Finding a way. What's a way to get to where you want to go? Okay. Daisy dogs. I have nobody to watch my dogs to go anywhere. Well, here's the interesting thing. So Carla and I were talking about this because I live in suburban Pennsylvania, right outside of Philly. I grew up on the East Coast. We have very compact areas here, so there's a lot going on. But usually there is a place to donate things, a place to sell things, people to call for help. I don't know where you are, so you might legit not have people to watch your dogs. Or maybe there are people, but you're not asking them. I don't know. I'm not saying you're wrong and I'm right. I'm just saying there could be people out there who said, if you said, hey, can you watch my dogs? They might say yes. It is hard, but notice, it's hard to trust anybody to take care of your pets, so you want to find somebody trustworthy. Notice these things. We have roadblocks ahead of us in life. The roadblocks are in front of our car, stopping us from going where we want to go. In the last, how many years? 50, 57, 58? 6, 7, 4, 5, 2, 4 years, I have gotten so good at recognizing the roadblocks and just moving them aside. A little bit at a time, a little bit here, a little bit there, and just moving forward. I can teach you this. Yeah, Carla says she lives 1 hour away from her local donation place. So because of one-on-one coaching, we're making a plan that fits right for her and where she is. You know? Okay, and this is the thing with pets, I will tell you people, that's one of the reasons my husband and I, when our beloved pupper, who I can picture laying out on this patio with me today, I can smell his little salty skin and his little nose and those floppy, silky ears. When he passed away, we missed him like nobody's business, but we also said, hey, you know what? What do we want ahead of us? While we're still young, we want to travel. We want to have a flexible life. We may get a dog later, but we really thought about the life we wanted and what adding things would mean. Now, notice that you took on these cats. That's awesome that you did that. They've been around for forever. There may be a time when they're not around. Will you get more? It's only up to you. It's about what you want in your life and what you don't want in your life. And what you want in your life gives you the life you have. And what you don't want in your life gives you the life you have too. Yeah, I love it. German Maid says, I go by word of mouth from my clients. Yeah, I am a word of mouth person like nobody's business. Yeah, Pat is saying, we didn't get another cat after hours passed just because of that. Because we said, hey, we want to do something different with this one life. There we go. Catherine says, after much searching, found a place that takes the other trash 1 time per month for the rest of the year. I love it. And Pat is having fun because she's got grand fur babies. I love it. I have fun with other people's cats and dogs, and then I love coming home and not having to deal with them. Yep. So, here we are. You're in the driver's side. I've been talking a while, the person in the passenger seat, keeping you entertained, putting some thoughts in your brain. How's it feeling? Hopefully it's feeling better. good? Encouraging? Something like that? Okay. If it isn't, let me know. But I would like to think, even in this short time together, we've got about 5 minutes. Pat's got a smile on her face. Catherine's saying simplify. Anastasia's saying you're a fanatic. Ugh. Okay, notice you're a fanatic. Why are you a fanatic? What's behind that? Let's pop the hood and look into the engine and say, oh, what's making that run like that? You know? And Bobby's saying very helpful. Carla's giving a heart to Pat. You know, this is all good stuff, people, because you know what? You're not alone. It can be scary to change your life, but it can also be scary to not change it. And if changing your life seems a little bit too overwhelming, let's start small. Let's start with clutter. Clutter can change your life. You can change your clutter. Change your clutter, change your life. You'll have more time. You'll have more money. You'll have better relationships. You'll feel better about yourself. And here's a fun thing. Farm Girl says, Beth, you're the best, so motivating. Cool. The motivation, though, the motivation only goes so far with me, and then you need to take that energy and do something cool with it, okay? Don't just have it be me yakking at you for a month and, oh, that's good, and now I'm going to go back. Do something with this energy. Do something with that motivation, that momentum. Move forward, and even if it's writing down what you want, what you don't want, get in touch with yourself. Carla says, I've got a dash. I have a Beth Zoom Wednesday, and I've got to get busy. I love this community. I love it. Sharon broke down 5 boxes, got water for the cat and me, and cleaned her bowl. C. Fitzhenry says, I'm at work and decluttering here too. Love it. Yeah. Okay. Thinking about permanent RV living, Anastasia, I'll say that's when you really need to talk about that physical feeling of everything that you own weighs you down. That adds to the weight, and you're driving. And think about being in an RV. If you piled all your stuff in an RV, how fast would you be able to drive? How quickly would you be able to stop? How nimbly would you be able to navigate? Okay? So think about getting decluttered to see if you even want to do that. You know? Everything you own, whether you're in an RV or a home, adds responsibility and weight to your life. It weighs it down. You have to take care of it. You make sure it doesn't break. All that kind of stuff. How do you know where to start, Pat? Start with the easy stuff. Start with one room. And I've barely gotten into some of these other tools, but I'll give you in the last minute and a half we have. Here's one tool. Think of your clutter in 3 different categories, 3 different layers: surface clutter, stored clutter, sentimental clutter. Start in one room and go through your surface clutter. Trash in the trash, recycles in the recycles. Stuff you know you don't want gets donated. Stuff you know you, I don't know, you want to give somebody. Like, do something with the stuff you know how to do in one room, then go to another room. Do the same thing. Get used to it. Practice the simple stuff. I love it. Catherine is saying, my silly self was cleaning the table, chairs, salt and pepper shakers, etc., while waiting for the waitress to order. Why not? I do that. I've done this stuff for life. I front and face. I tidy things up. Yeah. And Anastasia, you're right. You do have responsibility here. It's going to be temporary. What do you want your life to look and feel like after the kitties? You know? Anessa is saying, I've something else. You know? Yeah, there are all sorts of things you can learn about that. Learning to live lightly anywhere gives you the most flexibility. I freaking love having a flexible life. That's why I decided to show up how I do, when I do, and help people. From my patio, from down the beach, from not at all. I want you to have a life you love, in a house that you love. So I can help you with this. All right, Ms. Seashell, I have filled laundry baskets with clothes and selling them on Marketplace. All right, I am cheering you all on. I'm also going to cheer myself on, because in a minute, I'm going to get up, I'm going to put my dishes away, do this, I'm going to go for a walk, I'm going to do some coaching, I'm going to go to a yoga class. I hope your life is filled with the things you want to do. And if there's not, I can help you with that. On these TikTok Lives, hop on the mailing list. This week we have our Zoom. Mailing list people, our Zoom is on Thursday night, 8 p.m. Hopefully that's good for the West Coasters as well. DestinationDecluttered.com. We got it. Thank you for your leadership. You're welcome. Yeah, and yep. And I love it, Anastasia, that you've got somebody you're taking care of, all sorts of good stuff. Okay? All sorts of good stuff, people. But we're doing good things. Every little bit helps. What was it I said, the flip side? Every little bit helps, and can't hurt might help. So give it a shot. What do you get to lose, okay? Except a lot of clutter, right? See you guys tomorrow. See you guys on Zoom. Mailing list is destinationdeclutter.com/join. I think I forgot to mention that. And if you want me as your coach, go to my website. You can find out more info about that too, all right?